I have wanted to do a hardcore Superflat world for a long time now, so that's exactly what I'm doing. I have a lot of goals for builds, as well as beating the game, as I've never beaten the game in hardcore. Will I succeed or will I die? Stick around to find out. I spawned in, and the first thing I noticed was a strange planet floating in the sky. I was like, what is that? I'll tell you now, I wasn't impressed with the shaders that I installed for this, but I'd already spent 30 minutes installing them, so I decided to keep them for now, and in the end they did grow on me. But I had a plan, and if I wanted to survive and see this through, I'd have to find a village. So for now, my plan was to loot as many villages as I could find before figuring out somewhere to settle down. I already had an idea of what I wanted to build, so I knew I'd require a lot of resources. So after looking around for a bit, I picked a direction and started running. It wasn't long before I saw a village in the distance, and I was super lucky when I got there. It was a blacksmith village, and not only that, the chest. Oh, the chest. What a find. 2 diamonds and 6 obsidian. I looted the rest of the village and set out for the next one. After this, my current goal had changed to finding enough obsidian for a portal, as well as an enchanting table. I'm only realizing this now while editing, but I should have been killing the golems in each village. I missed out on so much iron. But nope, just ran right by them. Somewhere along the way, I found a saddle, and luckily there was a horse nearby, so my travel time has been cut down dramatically. I would need it to explore, as for over an hour I was going through villages. I thought you had to feed the horses to tame them. This just shows how often I use horses in this game, and I'm sure you used to have to. Leave a comment down below letting me know if I'm right about this, or if you never had to, and just say, Toasty, you're actually stupid, and this was never a thing. Either way, I got on my horse and rode off to find riches and somewhere to build. And that's about it for the adventuring side of the video. To be honest, the only other thing of interest that I found along the journey was the end portal. I didn't write down the coordinates, as since they're in the sky, I only have to throw 1 ender eye to find it, so I figured, you know, we don't really need to write those down. After going through countless villages, I finally had everything that I needed and settled on somewhere to build. I started by making sure I had 2 flechas trapped for easy trading later on, and in my previous attempts, they kept turning into zombies, so I made sure to trap them inside of a house. I make sure my horse is tied up and safe before stupidly using the last diamond I had saved for an enchanting table on a shovel. Now I need to find 2 more instead of 1. I didn't realize this until later, but for now, I need dirt. And I mean a lot of dirt. I must have spent almost 3 hours just mining dirt during this session, but it was all worth it. You'll see why later. My goal for this first build is a giant flying island from one of my old Dungeons & Dragons campaigns that I wrote. It was this awesome city that was filled to the brim with dungeons and, well, dragons. For this part, you'll see now, this is sped up 10 times. This wasn't even close to how much dirt I was going to need. The goal for today was to build this massive basin and fill it with water. It was going to be the giant lake of the city and a massive centerpiece that sort of has this enormous dome over the top of it made out of glass. It's going to look really cool when it's finished, but today we're just building the dome and filling it with water, so at the moment it's just going to be a load of dirt. But even so, I was really proud. After gathering all that dirt, I went out to find somewhere to start the build. I found my spot and started building, up to Y level 0. I did this to stop the slimes from spawning everywhere, and to start building the outline for the giant lake. Just look at that view. You can already tell this is going to be something great. While making this build, I had to make a lot of perfect circles in Minecraft, which for someone who enjoys the game but doesn't go crazy with builds was pretty difficult. I did manage to find a really useful website that I'll link down below for anyone that might be struggling to build these giant circles. Either way, I found it very helpful, and if you're struggling, I hope you find it useful like I did. Oh, and while going back down to sleep and get more dirt, I encountered some pillagers, which made me really scared as I am not ready for a raid. So I had to be creative with my methods of murder. I started by leading them up as high as I could. The problem now was if I fell, it's all over and I'd have to start again, which I've already done a number of times. I did this so that they would die to gravity, hoping that if I just hit them off and didn't actually deliver the finishing blow, it would stop me from getting the bad omen effect. Thankfully it did. I went back to building, managing to complete the outline of the lake. After finishing that, I took some time to look over what I'd done and just really felt a sense of pride. When you're doing builds like this in Minecraft, it's always great to stop and look over what you've done. Just think, I came up with that. It's always a nice feeling. After that, I headed back down to get some more dirt to make a start on the bottom part of the basin. I had to make another circle, this time a lot smaller, and hopefully slowly work my way up to fill everything in. I figured the best way to find the center of the circle for the smaller circle below would be to build a cross across the top one and then dig out the middle block and pop some water. That's exactly what I did. It turned out to be very helpful, and it also meant if I fell off while building the smaller circle, I had some water to land in, so I wouldn't die to fall damage. This was going to be the biggest build that I've ever done, and it was quite a daunting task. By the end of this, my hands were hurting, I was quite tired, you know, I'd spent 8 hours getting materials and putting everything together, figuring out how the build was going to work. Obviously you're going to see a lot of that coming up, but you know, sometimes it's nice. I'm really proud of this, and obviously it's got a lot more to go. I'm excited to see where this journey takes us, and I hope that there will be a lot of you sticking around for the ride. Also, let me know if this style of editing is something that you like. I thought it was a nice chill sort of video. There was nothing super crazy happening, so I thought it'd be fun to do it in a more relaxed, sort of chilled vibe with more relaxed music. Anyway, the next thing that I needed to do was connect the small circle with the large circle so I could start filling in the outside area. I then started building up and around from the small circle to try and fill everything in. The way I did this ended up being quite difficult to replicate on every side. Of course, you won't see all the struggles that I had. It wasn't great all the time, but it turned out pretty good, and I'm happy with how it looks now, so yes, it worked out in the end. Now, I was going to be filling this entire thing with water, so I thought it'd be a good idea to do it a little bit at a time as I slowly built up. I did do that for a little bit, but you'll see what happens later. I didn't finish that, but it just meant that if I fell off, I had a little bit of leeway, somewhere I could land without dying again. And for anyone that didn't know, filling in circles in Minecraft with water is like super easy. As you can see in the footage, all you have to do is like put it on the outside block and it fills up automatically. I didn't know this before doing this, and it's so helpful. It made filling this entire thing in when it's built so much easier. So this was when I decided to start doing the walls, and as you remember earlier, I said this was going to be a bit of a difficulty. Now, I came up with a way to fix this by putting in water around 1/4 of the circle and then building up to the water so that I didn't go past it. The problem I was having was the smaller circle was expanding a lot quicker and was going to end up a lot larger than the main circle I built up the top and end up encompassing it. And I didn't want that. I wanted it to meet at the bottom, so it was like a basin sort of thing, like I said earlier. The way I did this, again, like I said, was to fill the outside quarter with water, build up to the water, and then build from there. After that, I decided to build up each of the flat sides of the basin, which would be the easiest sides to replicate. As you can see, they've been mostly done in the video, and then slowly go round from there, which was working out pretty well. So while we're watching the last part of this wall get completed, I'm just going to put in a little bit of a game, you guys. There's one part of this video that isn't scripted. If you could tell me which part it is, you will be a cool guy. Make sure to leave a timestamp down below. And now, after hours and hours of painstaking work, mining dirt for almost 3 hours, and working on this, terrified that I was going to fall off every second, it's finally done. I managed to finish the basin. Now all that's left to do is fill it with water and start building the rest of the city around it. So that's exactly what I do. I started off by filling it with water the same way that I filled it with water previously, managing to get this done quite quickly, although once again, holding the A key to move left the entire time was quite painful, and like I said, it did make my hand hurt quite a bit, so I didn't fill it all the way up, but I filled it most of the way up, and it's now safe that if I fall anywhere in the basin, I would fall into water. My next job was to build the next outer circle that was going to be like the grassland around the lake. It was going to be filled with like flowers and like little walkways and stuff, and that was the next bit, so I had to build out this other circle all the way around. The problem was that I had miscalculated how wide this circle needed to be. So the website I was using would tell you how many blocks across the circle was going to be, and I put in 10 less than I needed to. I hadn't accounted for the size of the circle on the other side, which was a problem. But I did destroy everything and rebuilt it. It's just a bit of a soul-crushing moment when after 7 hours of gameplay, you have to destroy something and then start again. Luckily, I didn't go too far, and it was only a quarter of the way around, so it didn't take me too long. Started work back on that large circle and managed to finish it quite quickly this time. Didn't take me too long, and luckily, this time I had got the calculations right. And with that done, there wasn't much left for me to do today. All I had to do was fill in the space between the large circle and the basin, and that was that. That was the goal that I had set for this video. So I worked on that. I went and got more dirt, which again was quite boring. Having already mined dirt for around 3 hours, going to do it more was not really something I wanted to do. But I'm glad I did. And with that, my goal for this first video was finished. In the next one, there's a lot that I need to do. I need to get an iron farm, I need to make a cobblestone generator, and I'm thinking that I should probably get a raid farm set up as well, because the one thing that is scaring me, and that does make me a bit concerned about going back to this, is the thought of dying. So having totems would completely alleviate that. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. And that's the end of the video. If you made it this far and enjoyed, please leave a comment down below to let me know. And I'll give you a little thumbs up to show some gratitude. If you do want to see more, you hit the subscribe button and don't forget to leave a like. I'll be trying to do this once every week, but with work it might be a little longer than that. I do enjoy doing this, so hopefully they'll be out quite often. If you want to catch out more, pop over to my Twitch channel, link will be in the description. But either way, thank you guys, bye.